You're still bi? I thought you'd grow out of that. Entitled, Mom Breaks Up With Me for Laughing at Her Son. This is the second time, now getting cheated on, has led to me being dumped. At least this time, it wasn't totally baffling. First time can be read about on my profile, also to my followers. Waiting on the end result of Creepy Lunger. The court date is set for July. I will update you after. So I've been dating this guy for about 4 months now. He's not my usual type, as he's very naive and sheltered, whereas my life has been a joyous ride of how in the name of flapjacks did I survive that BS? He's nice and funny. We met at uni and for the most part it was fine. There were a few red flags, like his mum still irons and folds his undies and socks for him. But let's be real, people in their early 20s still living at home is not even a shocking thing anymore. I just think it's a bit psychotic to iron socks, but hey, that's just me. Anyway, on Saturday he went out for a lads' night with his friends, he hooks up with a girl, they have sex, and yesterday she messaged me on FB to basically say, "Sorry I was drunk and slept with your BF. I had no idea he was in a relationship. I'm really sorry." I was fine with it, thought it was nice for her to reach out and let me know. She's really cool, we chatted for a bit, and decided to go grab a Costa together on Thursday. I like talking to her and we have a lot in common. This is completely platonic. I mentioned in my last post, monogamy isn't really my thing. Unless we've had a discussion and agreed to be monogamous, I do not care. I don't tend to sleep with people in general. I have a low sex drive due to pure exhaustion and cancer, so if you want it and I'm not up for it, go get it somewhere else, I don't care. Just use condoms and don't be with the same person multiple times, because there is a difference between casual sex and multiple relationships. He gets home, and I casually mention she messaged me, and we've been talking, and reassure him. I don't mind that he slept with someone else, just would prefer in future he wears a condom and hope he wouldn't mind getting tested before we sleep together again. He was fine with all that and was really surprised with how well I took it. But I had discussed my feelings on monogamy with him before we started dating, so it wasn't a massive shock, like it was to the last prat. Then I make an offhanded joke saying, "Next time you decide to sleep with a hot girl, let me know, and if I'm up for it, maybe we can turn it into a threesome." It was said jokingly, and I was 100% joking. And then he said, "Why would you want to sleep with another girl?" This is where the overall stupidity kicks in. I remind him I am bisexual, and he says exactly what it says in the title. With a really confused face, "You're still bi? I thought you'd outgrow that when we started dating." He follows this up with, "My mum said you would because bisexuality is just a phase." I face planted, like threw my hand to my forehead so hard my butt jiggled from the force of the slap. It was just so ridiculously stupid for a 24-year-old male in 21st century Britain to be saying these kind of things. Like, I know you're naive, but do you not watch TV? Do you not go on social media? What in the name of RuPaul do you think sexuality is at 24? To think bisexuality is a phase? I didn't know what to say. I stood looking at him like he'd just sprouted another head out his armpit. And may I point out, this guy is doing BSc in sociology, a course I did for undergraduate, and know that sexuality and gender are two things very much covered in any sociology course. I was floored. It took me a few minutes to regain my composure, and I realized I had two options. Laugh at the sheer ridiculousness of a 24-year-old male, having not only discussed my sexuality with his mum, but had believed her when she told him I'd grow out of it. Or I could try and explain sexuality to an adult sociology student. I knew the status of my relationship was at stake with whatever decision I made. I contemplated hard, and then I laughed so hard my bladder nearly burst. Sorry, not the mature decision, but you know what? I don't care, it was freaking hilarious. He'd said it with such honest innocence. Look, I can live with his mum ironing his socks, and I can live with his mum still buying his clothes and taking him to get a haircut. Because honestly, I have my own shortcomings, and if he can tolerate those, I can tolerate his. But I will not live with someone being so clueless about sexuality. Maybe I'm the entitled one here. Maybe I have too higher expectations of people. But hey-ho. He of course got mad that I laughed at him. He started shouting, and I kid you not, he managed to fit, "My mum says." Mum said that, and "but my mum is" into one 45-ish second monologue 7 times. I will do a lot of things for love, but I won't compete with mummy. Frankly, I just didn't feel enough for him to even try. He grabbed his backpack, called his mum to come get him and left. That night, after chatting with the girl he slept with and laughing some more, His mother sent me this text. I cannot believe you would humiliate my son like that. You selfish, stupid little bitch. You are a fat, ugly SLT who is using bisolati, spelt just like that, as an excuse to whir around. I know your type, and you've just thrown away the best thing you'll ever have with my son. My son deserves way better than a fat little SLT like you. You are scum. We will be coming tomorrow to get the rest of his things from your house, and I will be bringing my brother to deal with you if you try and pull anything he knows how to deal with trash. If you try and steal anything, I will call the police. You had better be there when we get there. Scum. So yeah, not only did his mother break up with me for him, though I'd pretty much expected the breakup, she also called me some lovely names. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I had text her back asking what time she'd be coming, ignoring everything else, and she didn't respond. No way in Hades was I waiting around all day for this lunatic, her brother and son, to turn up for his laptop, toothbrush, and some random bits of clothes. This brings me to this morning. I'd popped all his stuff in a bag and left it by the front door, except his laptop, which was on the table next to the front door, just because I didn't want to break it. I do the school run for my sister every morning because she doesn't drive. Off we go at 820. We drop my gorgeous little nephew off at school at 850, get home for 930, having stopped at the shop on the way home, as my sister needed to pick up a few bits for the boyo. Guess who is there waiting outside my front door? If you'd guessed the tantruming trio, you'd be right. If you'd guessed the police, you'd also be right. Most logical people, she's not home. Guess we will have to wait or come back later. Entitled, Mum with Serious Emotional Incest Issues. She's not in. We should break into her house. I get there and this witch is handcuffed in the back of a police car, my double-glazed stained glass window pane that has a rose decoration broken into sections by bits of metal looks as though it's gone 3 rounds with a rock, because it had. And my ex's uncle is shouting at the officer that I'm a thief, and they were just coming to get what was my ex's. The officer reminds him, even if they were trying to retrieve his property, breaking and entering is still a crime. The police officer then approaches me and says, "Good morning, miss. This gentleman says you had arranged for them to come collect this young man's possessions this morning. Is that true?" I replied with, "No. Ex's mum sent me this message last night." Shows phone. And did not reply with a time, but X knows I do the school run every day, so not sure why they chose now. The officer reads over my phone, calls over his colleague, and they go over to the witch in cuffs. They ask Witch, "What did you mean when you told this girl your brother will deal with her?" Witches started to babble. Brother got very quiet, and X just looked lost. Also, brother is basically the same height as me, and I have more fat in one butt cheek than he does in his entire body. So I could definitely take him. I'm just completely bemused at this point. The officers come back over and explain because she was caught in the act by police have attempted to break into my house. I do not have a choice about pressing charges and ask if I'd like to add harassment and making threats to the list. I'm in the middle of a court case already due to a certain lunger and really don't have the mental capacity right now, so I decline. They take pictures of the damage, not that there was much. I give them X's stuff so he can leave and off they go. Once I cleaned the window, there is a tiny crack on the outside glass that did not affect the front pane. I'm now 15 stone lighter and getting a little flirty with the girl he slept with on Saturday. What I'm taking away from this relationship: if Mummy irons his undies regardless of age, run fast and far, and preferably with a pretty brunette in the future. Hope you enjoyed and wish me luck for tomorrow for my maybe not so platonic Costa with the girl he cheated on me with.